So welcome back, everyone. We are here for the last presentation of our WIS Tech training. We have Jackie Hersch. Please give her a round of applause.
Hi. Hi, everyone. I just want to thank you for having me. I'm coming all the way from Cleveland, Ohio. So I wanted to first, well, I'll give you some time to write down this link to the presentation. It is a little different than what it was printed in your book. So if you want to take a picture of this, if you want to go on and log in to this presentation, this is your access to it. So I won't ever delete it. You will have access to it. So please feel free to share it, send it. It's in a Google Slides, and that's what I'm using today for this presentation. Before we get started, I just want to tell you a little bit of my background, since I'm not, unfortunately, in this network. But after today, I feel like I am a part of this network, and I'm really flattered and excited to be here. Again, my name's Jackie. I'm from Northeast Ohio. My background is I'm an intervention specialist, and I have a master's degree in assistive technology. For the past 8 years, I started my career as an intervention specialist in a cross-categorical classroom, which is where I got my AT bug, because I was expected to teach children how to read, and we can't even communicate. Or we couldn't communicate that made sense to one another. So my second graders really fueled my passion to get into assistive tech. So I went back to school, and then I joined a private school in Northeast Ohio called Lawrence School. It's one of the 3 private schools in Ohio that serves children with language-based learning differences. So for 8 years, I was their assistive technology director, and I worked with teachers and students, providing them technology integration and best academic practices. So I have a lot of background with reading in particular, but also using assistive technology. This fall, I'm joining a public school in my area where I'm going to be their RTI. Do you guys have RTI, Response to Intervention? In Wisconsin, I'm not sure, but I'll be working with teachers and students there providing assistive technology. So everyone get this link? Okay.
Jackie, let's read that out loud.
Sure.
It's http://bit.ly/WIS_TECH.
Okay, so just like our students, I think educators and everyone else likes to have an agenda. So today we're going to be talking about tools for accessibility, tools for reading, writing, organization, and I'm hoping we'll have enough time at the end for questions and collaboration. But just like all of our presenters have been talking about today, as much as I'm talking about tools, it's important to know that the student or the learner always comes first. So I'm sharing with you some of the tools that I have found have been very successful working in a K-12 school setting, but also that I've reached out to some of my colleagues in our network, our AT network, and said, okay, what are you using? What's been pretty successful? And those were the tools that I'm sharing with you today. I'm not by any way, I am a Google educator, but I don't get any monetary things from any of these companies. I'm just sharing the ones that I have found that worked well, that my students have liked, that I've personally used. So also having said that, the tools I'm talking about today, these are just good tools for all learners. So even though my background is primarily with working with children with learning differences, these are just great tools. And I think what's really exciting about what's happening now in the field of education is that, especially with all of our new technology advancements, I mean, there's refrigerators now that you can talk into, and they shows you your front door window, right? Have you guys seen that commercial? I mean, how cool is that? That's helping a lot of people in a lot of different ways. But these tools are becoming destigmatized because they're becoming popular. And the more popular tools come, the cheaper they become, and the more availability and support there is for our learners. So I just want to let you know that, again, not one tool fits a child or an adult learner by any stretch of the means. Some tools might be better for certain tasks than others. So we'll be talking about that too. So I don't want anyone walking away thinking, okay, she talked about this reading tool and this is the only tool for reading. No, we know that reading comprehension and reading fluency are 2 very different things and can look very different amongst us all. So I just wanted to make sure I was clear on that. And also I'll be demonstrating these tools. Also, since you have that link to the presentation, everything's been hyperlinked. So everything I'm talking about, you'll be able to follow through. You can, follow any of these links in blue. That means that it'll take you directly to the website. I've put in my notes, all of my notes, so you have the script so you can see what I'm talking about. And also there's links to videos. So just so I'm trying to make sure I'm demonstrating a lot of different accessibility as well. So when we're first talking about accessibility, a lot of times it's just explaining the language to people that maybe just aren't familiar with these words, right? So a lot of times when we have miscommunications or we don't know, it's over very common vocabulary words that we're like, oh, we're talking about the same thing, but you were using a different word for it, or you were using a different symbol for it, right? So I wanted to let you know that your technology that you have in the palms of your hands or what you're using at your fingertips has built-in accessibility. It's just not often turned on. So manufacturers are required to, put in accessibility features into your phone, into your iPad, into your Chromebook, MacBooks, Microsoft Surfaces, everything. It's just not usually turned on. And I wanted to direct you to some of these resources that I hyperlinked for you, because these are great for if, I think I'm preaching to the choir here, but for other people who don't know, it's a great kind of direction, a great website to say, oh, let's explore this website together. Maybe it's another employee, maybe it's a family member, maybe it's another family that is just getting started in the process of assistive technology. These are great kind of starting points for those conversations so they know where to go. This first one takes you directly through, and you know what, I'll even show you. So this first one really just breaks it through. So are you talking about Microsoft, Apple, iPad, Android? When you click on those links, it takes you directly through how to turn things on, how to use them. So I wanted just to direct you to some resources that I have found that have been helpful along the way. There's also, again, some accessible instructional materials. So if you're creating materials for clients or learners, you have information to that as well. And you can see down here are my notes. So you have all of that access. Oh, I see someone's logged in. Excellent. So those materials are there because a lot of times just educating people and demystifying some of the language, you really start communicating then. So I want to let you know that those are available. Having said that, these are some of my favorite accessibility apps. So Seeing AI, this is an app that allows you to take a picture from your iPhone, and as you're holding it open, it lets you see what is available. Has anyone used this app? Oh, wonderful. How handle? Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. So this was an app. It's only for the iPhone. I recently went Google phone. It's a long story. I love my iPhone, was dedicated to it, but we had to make a little change. So I'm using a Google phone. So I'm going to show you, if for those who've never seen it before, how it works using a different app, which leads me to my point. Not all apps are created equally. So hopefully I'm not going to embarrass myself too much with this app. The one I'm using on a Google Pixel 2 or an Android is called Chelsea. It's one of their top rated, but I think Seeing AI is much better. So you can see I have, it's just a screen, right? You can see you guys. I see a woman sitting in front of a laptop. Oh, maybe it's all you, Lisa, but I'm going to show this exit sign. Let's see if it picks it up. Oh gosh. I haven't the faintest idea is what it just said to me. Okay, okay. Let's see if it's going to pick up this water glass. Please. Oh gosh, please don't embarrass me. Come on, Chelsea. I see a glass of wine sitting on a table. So you can see, it's not perfect. I wish it was wine, excuse me. Yes, so you can see Chelsea is okay. It's not great. But for someone who needs something, it was free and it was available. Seeing AI, I've heard, is so much better. So the only downside to that is that it's on the iPhone. So right now. So let's say it might not always be, it might become exclusive on other providers. Yeah.
Andrew again from Access to Independence. There's also an app, I believe it's just for the Apple phones or Apple products, called AI Polyvision, which does the exact same thing. I've had a lot of success with it.
Thank you.
Seems pretty accurate.
Awesome. Okay, everyone get that AI Polyvision app? Does the same idea? Awesome. That's great. Thank you. So, also on my presentation, I tried to include the symbols of what kind of product it was, where you could find it. So these two apps, I like preferably on Apples. So the next one is Claro ScanPen. So again, we're talking about accessibility. This is an app that is available with Android. I don't like it as much. It's fine. On the iPad, it's wonderful, and my students love this. So what you do is, you know how there's still people out there that pass out, tons of paper applications, or you're at the doctor's office and you're filling out the same form that you swear you filled out like 6 months ago and got to fill it out again, and you're trying to read all this information and there's a lot in there. Well, this is a great app for those who like to ear-read like myself. So what you do is you take a picture on your phone or on your iPad, and it OCRs it, which is optical character recognition. It takes that two-dimensional piece of paper that if you can read, great, but if you can't, if that's inaccessible to you, then what is, you have to either ask someone to read it to you or you're just stuck without it. So what it does is it takes a picture, it OCRs it, so it makes it editable text, so now you can interact with it. You swipe down and it reads it aloud to you. It's quick, it's easy. My students love it. I had a student who was using it just for his, all those questions when you're filling out your SAT packets, and there's all these pages and you're going through and you're filling it out. He was using it just real quick, had an earbud in, was listening to it, filling out, okay, this is what they need from me. So it was just a really quick way. I wouldn't recommend this app if you had a novel that you wanted to read, because how cumbersome would that be to have to be still, take a picture, turn the page. That would not be the good use for this app. But for on the fly, you're in the doctor's office, you need it, you are at a friend's house, you're looking at a recipe, you're at book club, and you have questions that you're going to talk about with the group, it's great. It only picks up print, so it will not pick up handwriting. So, but a good start. So that's Claro ScanPen. I've seen it in the month of May, free for teacher appreciation. And I've seen it as expensive as just $9.99. Claro also bundles some of their apps. I've never seen it cost more than a one-time fee of $24.99. So, nice company, has been around for a long time, and good product. Again, so some more accessibility apps. SnapType. This is a great app. It was developed by an occupational therapist, and it allows you to import pictures or take a picture on the fly of something that you need to fill out. So again, those forms at the doctor's office, okay, now you've listened to it, but now you have to handwrite it in. Well, I don't know about you, I have really big loopy handwriting. I never can fit it all into those, the lines that they provide you. What's nice is you can take a picture and you can type it in, or you can use your built-in accessibility on your phone and you can dictate it in. You can change the font to make it smaller once you have it in, which is really nice. And it is, I think, $4.99 for the Pro version, which is really good. I would splurge for the $4.99. You can then export it out as a PDF, as a JPEG, email it. It's pretty accessible. A lot of my high schoolers were using this. They had this one history teacher, no matter what I did, just was adamant about using a certain graphic organizer for his final exam, and I couldn't get him to budge on it. And when I tried to, make it digitized, it just wasn't coming out the same. So the kids were like, "We're just going to take a picture of it and type it in. Don't worry. We got this, Mrs. Hersch." So they loved it. It was just quick and easy to use. I have a video, if you'd like to see how it works. And again, you have access to these videos. And I apologize, I made the videos last minute, so it's not closed captions, I'm sorry. So SnapType is an an app that was created by an occupational therapist, and this is a great app to use if you need to take a picture or import a picture that you take off your camera, off of your device, and you need to type or dictate into it. So here I made an example, and we have a picture of our training agenda, and let's say I want to add in some information. I simply tap wherever I want to add, and because I have the built-in accessibility on your phones, I can either speak into it or I can type. I can change the colors. So here I went from yellow to orange. It's kind of hard to see, but I could change it to blue. But what's nice is you can change the font size. You can dictate obviously into it, which is really, really nice. But you can configure it to fit the size of your paper. And then to export it, you can save it as a PDF or JPEG. Right now, it's saying if you SnapType to the Pro version, which I think is only $5, you can use Google Drive, Dropbox, etc. So that's a nice option. So this is great for those, work that you have to do that doesn't provide you a format that is more suitable for typing in or writing in your work, but you want to turn it in. So great for graphic organizers, applications, things along that. So that's SnapType. You know what I don't like is hearing myself talk. Ugh. I'm like, ooh, okay. So again, SnapType is just great for on the fly. Yeah, we got a question. No, you're fine.
The best reading app that I've seen, at least for someone who's visually impaired, is called a Canopy Reader. The downside to it is that it's like $100.
Okay.
So it's not cheap. It is for both devices. But the real benefit is that if you press a button, it'll give you vocal commands that help you align it. So for
Cool.
somebody who has a hard time aligning it because you can't see it, that app allows you to do that.
That's awesome. No, thank you. So again, if you struggle with handwriting or if that's not the best mode for you to produce work, check out SnapType. And then can you say it again? What was the name? Awesome. This next app is one that I use a lot in the schools, but actually I just got my mom to use it with her book club, but she said I could not show you the videos of her and her lady friends doing this, but so I promised her I wouldn't, but it's called FlipGrid. It's a free app, and it's basically it's a platform, and you can use it on your computer, and if we're feeling a little gutsy, maybe we can demo it together. But what you do is you download the app, and as the teacher or as just like the leader, I would create a grid. And a grid is essentially like a topic. So you would create a topic like, what was your favorite thing you learned about today? And I would give you the 6-digit code that FlipGrid manually generates. You would open the app, and it prompts you right away. Which is the 6-digit code, you type it in, and then from what the teacher or the leader of it, you can set it for 30 seconds response, a minute 30. It's like you have a camera right in front of you. So if it's off of your camera on your tablet, on your phone, you can videotape yourself talking or acting out something. Or I have a lot of my students, the ASL teacher, she uses this quite a bit. She does a lot of her assignments in here, and then she has the kids sign back. So for homework and things like that. But my mom and her book club ladies, I was showing her this because when she was over, I was doing it on a Twitter conversation. So you can like take this really everywhere. So I've done on a Twitter conversation where one of us sent out a link and said, okay, leave a FlipGrid, introduce yourselves. Like, let's feel connected. And so all of a sudden we had this grid of 30 some people with videos going, hi, I'm so-and-so from Indiana or whatever. So it's a great way to kind of have that face-to-face time. But you can imagine how many possibilities you were to use this. So I'm not going to show you my mom's, but I'll tell you about it. So my mom used this, and my mom, God bless her, but she's not like technology savvy. which is totally fine. It was easy enough for her to use. And what she did was a lot of her book club members are snowbirds. So they were not all together. And so she said, well, let's just, for kicks and giggles, try this. And they had so much fun. They just put one question up there, and the ladies all had fun then interacting with their family members going, okay, how do you download this app? How does it work? You can be really funny and add like emojis to it and all this other stuff. But it was just a way to feel connected and have that face-to-face time. So I will show you just what it looks like. You just go to flipgrid.com. Okay, so this was the page I made. Oh, look, I'm going to show you my makeup-free one with my dog.
Hi, everyone. I just wanted to say thank you so much for having me at this conference, and it's been so great to share and collaborate with you all. This is my dog, Oscar. Isn't he so handsome? Anyway.
So, yeah. So that's just FlipGrid. So you can see it's fun. Oh boy.
Hi, everyone.
Oh geez. I wasn't sure. I was like, I'm going to leave as many FlipGrids as I can just to make sure they work. But you can see all you have to do is press on that plus sign if you're on a computer and have the code, which is DD9, CC9, if anyone wants to do that while we're here. You'd make my day. I could show it up on the screen, really show off a little bit. Any takers? I see maybe Lisa. Am I winning you over? No. So if we had more time, it's fun to do, but it's not just for the K-12 setting is what I'm getting at. There's a lot of applications for it, and it's free. So that's FlipGrid. Has anyone ever used FlipGrid before? I think it'd be a really fun thing to use with like a student, kind of like, in the social story kind of way. I don't know. It'd be fun. Oh, these are my favorite. Okay, tools for reading. We're going to talk exclusively in Google Chrome. The reason why I chose Google Chrome is because, well, Google seems to be everywhere, right? We're Googling things. It's like becoming an adjective, right? Like I'm going to Google it, or verb, excuse me. So I also wanted to talk about Google because a lot of schools are using Google, so that transfer or the transition from our graduates onto independent living, we're familiar with Google. It's also free. So when we know how much funding there's, funding's not where it should be for the population that we work with, it's nice to know that there are some free tools out there that could be really helpful. This first one is called Speechify, and all of these are extensions in Google Chrome. I'm going a little too fast. So if everyone's not sure, Google Chrome is a web browser like Internet Explorer, Firefox, Safari. Google Chrome's just another one. Google works on a Mac. You just have to download it. It works on a PC. You just have to download it, okay? So, and it's free. Extensions in Google lets you extend what you can do in a website. It keeps you in that web page, but it lets you do extra stuff to that website. Versus applications, apps, open up a new screen, right? So you can't really work in that one original site you were working on. Now you're in an application. So both Google Chrome has apps and it has extensions. But these three extensions we're going to be talking about keep you in that website and give you a lot more capability, a lot more options. So I'm going to show you Speechify, and I'm going to pick a really, really serious article because I know that's what we all want to do right now is talk about like how serious the world is. So we're going to listen to Tom Cruise and Jimmy Fallon act out a spy scene using Mad Libs. Okay, because I'm an entertainment junkie. So I want to listen to this. I can't. I could watch the video, sure, but I want to listen to it. What Speechify does is you select the text that you want to listen to, okay, and then you just hit this little extension. It's processing, and it's going to work for me because we had a serious talk yesterday about it. Maybe I'm going to press play. This is the one downside sometimes with technology, especially Speechify. You have to be connected to the internet. It doesn't work if you're not online. So we have to wait for that. I'm going to just keep letting it process. You can see other extensions on my Omnibox up in here, up in my toolbar. We're going to be talking about all of these today. So, okay, while it's thinking about that, let me actually refresh this page. Let me try it again. Oh, let's see if I take out Tom. And I love Tom Cruise because he's dyslexic, and I just think that's amazing. Okay, it's gonna think about it. We'll give it a second. So while we're waiting for Speechify, I'll show you. The next one was Mercury Reader. Okay, so Mercury Reader is it's a website extension that cleans up your website. So you know how you have all of these like ads up here and all of that, and it's distracting. I don't know about you, but I even have, when I'm working with a student with a touch screen, they accidentally touch the ads, and then all of a sudden we're like watching something maybe we shouldn't be watching, and it's horrifying. You're trying to close out, or if they, oh my gosh, if they print something, and you know how you want to print an article, and it's like one page, but you print 37. Okay, so this eliminates that. It's this little extension up here, and it's like a little rocket ship. Like it's going to really impress us. Thank you. Took out all the ads, and it just gives you a nice, clean visual. My students with ADHD, they love it. They say they don't, but they love it. But it's good for them. It's good for me. Oftentimes when I'm reading with my daughter, I don't want her to see all these extra ads. I'm like, oh. So we just clean up the page real quick. It's easier than to copy and paste out to other sources that I want to listen to. It usually works really nicely with the Speechify app, which is on my list right now. So that's another free app, Mercury Reader. It used to be called Readability, but they were bought out. So that is Mercury Reader. The last one, which I'm going to go into a lot more depth, is called Read and Write for Google. This in the past has been traditionally meant for only schools. That's no longer the case. Read and Write for Google is with a company called Text Help, T-E-X-T Help. And they're a wonderful company to work with, just really great customer service, genuinely care about the products that they're supporting and the users that are using them. But they now have a Read and Write for Work, which was really exciting. What I like about this Read and Write for Google Chrome is that it's fairly reasonable. It's free for teachers or SLPs, anyone in the school, but it's also about $100 per license. If you go with like a whole school account, the price drops significantly. I'm not sure how much it costs for the work version, but they also have it for Apple. Like they have all these different versions. I'm going to just show you the Google Chrome version because it's the one I use the most often. So it's up here, and I can use it with conjunction into other icons, but it's just a sleek little toolbar. So it's a suite of apps that you can interact with. So the first one on the far left is called the Predictor. And on the next slide, I gave you like a screenshot and I bullet pointed what all of them are so you have it for your reference. But it does the word prediction. So if you were typing, it would predict what you're trying to say. The Hover and Speech is this one. So you would hover over what you wanted to read.
Read and Write for Google Chrome.
Thank you. I'm over here though. Let's Mission Impossible. Let me do this. So it doesn't have to just work in in conjunction with Mercury Reader. It'll also work on your other websites. Maybe it's just being fussy. Okay. So it will, you'll hover where you want it to read, and it will read to you. You can also click this, which is essentially the screenshot reader. And this lets you take a box and make around the text, and it will read it to you. There's a voice recorder, a screen shade, that you can even see the microphone and headset where you can dictate into it. They have highlighting tools, their own simplify page, which is essentially what this is, where it cleans it up. But it also is in Google Docs. And in Google Docs, it's right in here in the toolbar. Does anyone use Google Docs? Okay, so this is a great add-on if you're in Google Docs. Does anyone use Gmail? Okay, so if you have Gmail, you have Google Docs. You might just not know where to find it. But Google Docs is a great it's a great word processor. It auto-saves. It keeps everything organized in the cloud. For my students, we could not live without Google Docs because we lose everything. So the excuse of, oh, I left that at home. Oh, my mom didn't put it in my book bag. Which I'm like, your mom shouldn't be putting that in your book bag. You could do it. We don't have that anymore. Oh, I saved it on my computer desktop at home. That's okay. It's in Google Docs. We can pull it up here at school. So I love that on that function alone. I think we all could use a little extra security, a little extra backup, and it's nice that you can pull it up there. But you can also have it on your phone. You can work on it, work in a Google Doc, and then like not online. So I have students that, commute an hour to school both ways. They are working on their things, and once they get home, it syncs it up into the cloud, and they have their work saved. So it's really, really nice. Again, you can see all of the suite of tools. So you have, they have dictionary tools. They have the screen, the guide, the screen reader. And you can even leave voice notes. So as a teacher or as a therapist, if you wanted to give feedback to something, this is great. I have a lot of students that when I'll share out a Google Doc with, Q&A, and we're doing some paired text work, some students will type out in their comments and some will just leave a voice note. So I can get to hear from everyone and different modalities. Yes, yeah.
Get my steps in.
Okay, thank you. I'm thinking about this maybe for somebody who's blind, and maybe I shouldn't be thinking about this for someone who's blind. Are these applications more for somebody who has a difficulty reading? Because I'm thinking about this specifically for a coworker of mine who's blind, and I'm wondering when you say hover on the toolbar, do you have to have a separate screen reader installed to?
I haven't had that experience. The students and colleagues I work with were primarily dyslexic, so the struggle was, they couldn't decode the words.
Okay.
But I would think that if your colleague is ear listening, primarily,
yeah,
and if everything's built in and accessible on her computer to see, to be able to navigate on the screen, I would think that this might be something she could try.
Okay, that's what I was thinking, but I'm just not sure.
Sure, you could try it too. They have like a free trial for like 30 days. And, and I will say TextHelp is one of those companies that's they want the tool to be the right fit for the customer. They care about the person first. So.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
So that question was about visually impaired and using these tools for reading, and in particular if these apps would be applicable for a person visually impaired either with low vision or other visual problems. So think some problem solving amongst yourselves offline might yield a few other scenarios where,
Absolutely.
we might have some issues. Stacy, did you have a question? Okay.
So again, this is just kind of like a screenshot so you can see those tools. I'm sure most of you have heard about Bookshare. Yeah. These are resources for reading. So these are, Bookshare is a free service for those who qualify. Traditionally in the past, Bookshare was a service primarily for people who had vision impairments, but that's not necessarily the case anymore. Things have been kind of expanded in their eligibility requirements, including even who can qualify, people who receive these services. So for example, I'm able to recommend people for it with my special ed license, whereas before it had to be a school psychologist or a physician. So if you haven't checked out Bookshare in a while, it's worth going to. It's bookshare.org. And what it does is it provides textbooks, literature books, articles, just your current event books in an e-format that is accessible. So they've been OCR'd, they have had that additional accessibility built in. And it gives you, they have like a list of, tools like VoiceStream, which I'm going to show you in a second, that work really well with it. So Bookshare, it's a service. It's not the tool, but it's a free service, lifelong, for those who qualify. And it was a tool that, a lot of my students at my school used, but we didn't do too much with it because not everyone qualified. And we definitely, just used Read and Write for Google because everyone could use that tool. But Bookshare was definitely those that are great, that we made sure any of our students that were leaving our school had made sure that they knew how to use that service, and that their families and caretakers knew how to log in and download their books. I'm going to jump to VoiceStream just because that's a great tool to use with Bookshare. And I made a video. And VoiceStream is available on both the iOS and Android, and they work well on both. So kudos to VoiceStream. And it's $9.99, one-time fee.
So now I'm going to show you my favorite app called VoiceStream, like you're dreaming. And this is an app that connects really well with Google Drive, but also with Bookshare to listen to books. You can also listen from the web. So I am trying to get back to my basics, and I've never read Pride and Prejudice, so I was going to start this on the trip. And what I like about this is that the voices sound really natural. Let's take a listen.
It is a truth universally acknowledged that a single man in possession of a good fortune must be in want of a wife.
What's also nice is that there's a lot of customization. Like you could take away the show spoken word or the spoken line. You could do scrolling. You could maybe only make 5 lines visible, change the font, the text size, which is really nice. So here I changed it to 5 lines. You can leave bookmarks. You can slow or speed up the speech rate, which is great. I like Sharon's voice, so I downloaded that, but I also think some of these Google voices are really nice too, but Sharon's one of my favorites. You can also, you can see, like, as you're listening, jump ahead to different chapters, listen to them. It collects your bookmarks. If you make any highlights, it will collect them there. So it's just a really good reading tool. So this is VoiceStream. It's $9.99, one-time fee, and it really works well with Bookshare.